Good morning, Sonic. How are you?
Oh, doing excellent. How's the cat doing?
Curious as ever. He's jealous of my Whole Foods organic M&Ms sponsoring the show.
Thank
By
you,
feeding
Unreal.
me. Dude, they're good as hell, boy. You ain't had an M&M like this before in your life, bro.
I believe it. Yeah, we got eggs here today. I promised on Friday I would try to get him to come on. So we're gonna chat eggs for sure. Real quick, something I was interested in. Look what's happening there. Finally seeing some weakness.
Is it because that blue line crossed? Is that what I'm looking at?
It's just that, we're waiting to see. It's crazy to feel like, if you own Bitcoin and you own alts and everything else, it feels like crazy sometimes to like look at the chart and feel like I'm kind of rooting against Bitcoin. But as we've said over and over, it's like we're not going to have alt season until Bitcoin, slows down a little bit, cools off a little bit. So interesting to see. This is the weekly chart. So we've just been ranging forever. For all I know, right after this, it'll just be another green candle in the same range. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It's looking a little weak right now to me. So maybe it's almost time. I don't know. But speaking of almost it's time. Also, look at these meme lines. Look how everything's just bouncing around on these fib meme lines. Like I said, I don't always love fibs, but it just seems to be working right here.
Looks like it's setting up for another burst up through to what, 67?
Yeah, I mean, I figured, if you're going according to fib stuff, then you're looking at like somewhere around here for like the retrace, like the official retrace. But I mean, so far this thing's been playing out like insanely clean. I mean, even with your line here, we broke that. We're like literally bouncing right off the fibs. So I'm just gonna leave this up for now. I think it seems to be playing into it.
Yeah. It seems to be following the plan here, the Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio. Is that Fibonacci?
Yeah. So and
I think the TVL prophecy is coming true, dude.
I don't want to
Ponzi's, but I don't want to jinx it.
I don't want to brag or nothing, but I drew these lines before I put the fibs on. So
So you think you bought the bottom?
I'm just saying I don't want to brag, but the meme lines were there first.
Did you delete the Drac bot?
Well, that was on the Phantom. That was on the Phantom chart. Yeah. So
we should have got you another one. We should have put another one in. Yeah. You know what? I'm actually starting to learn. Dracula is a frighteningly good trader. Maybe it's because he's 10,000 years old. I don't know.
Lots of cycles to study. But my Sonic's not as calculated as some of those phantom buys were on the old chart. My Sonic's kind of all over the place because my position right now, I feel like Sonic in this price area is just like, whether it's 40 cents or 50 cents or even 60 cents, this is like accumulation. Like I will accumulate here. I don't care. Because this thing's going over $1. There's no way it's not. So
programmed in.
Yeah.
Andre Cronje programmed that himself.
Yeah, I mean, not financial advice, but I'm just telling you that's the way I see it.
Yeah, no, it does definitely seem like I said, for the TVL, the number of applications, use case, horribly underpriced right now. I imagine that's something to do with Phantom, to be honest, at this point still. But I wanted to comment here. Benny Snatch says my drip is diminished today. When my Colonel Sanders fit. Well, stay tuned. Stay tuned. That's a good idea. I've been looking for a seersucker suit for ages, buddy. It's hard to find one.
Yeah, I've been kind of wondering about that because, like, yesterday there were images of Corval circulating the internet with just some insane drip on the stream, and I'm like, look what we get on our stream, and then bros dressed up like Diddy on this other.
Now, if you don't know, that's a classic Corval look. If you had bet me at Quantum Miami, that's what I would have been wearing. The pink suit, the Miami Vice pink suit. But
yeah, man, it was like everybody was kind of like, whoa, like,
yeah, I clean up good. Everyone was surprised. I clean up good, dude.
So I was going to try to find the image, but maybe somebody else can dig that up. But yeah, I mean, talking about, we've been watching the TVL closely. Look, Cardano is now in the dust.
Dead. Killed.
Yeah.
Game over.
So Charlie's Angels, stop coming for me. It's over.
We're not Bitcoin.
Yeah, we're not like one ahead of you or one below you. Now, we're like putting you in the rear view. So all the Cardano maniacs, leave me alone. It's over. There's not a fight anymore. It's done. Now
Charles Hoskinson's on suicide watch. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah. Now, as I did that one show where we were like 7 or 8 below Cardano, and I said that's the target, there will be the most hated passing, more hated than Cardano, and we're really close to it. When we pass Hyperliquid, you are going to see.
Don't say it.
FUD like you have never seen in your life. You are going to see Cope. You guys aren't prepared to go against the Hyperliquid bag holders. You're not ready. I promise you.
Yeah, I think our community needs to really reflect on what they need to do to get strong enough to survive a Hyperliquid flip.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, when we flip Hyperliquid, it is gonna get violent.
We're gonna crack a couple eggs. A couple eggs will need to be cracked. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. So watch out for that. I mean, we're getting close. I actually
also
thought,
look at this, dude. We're like the only thing that's green.
Yeah, and then that's been kind of funny too. We've been in this little like bubble, which how nice is it for once that we're in the good bubble? We're not like we're in the bubble where everything's going up, but the market is like the whole timeline is pain everywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Which is the optimal setup, I think, is when we're doing good and everyone else is doing bad, because then we can feel better than them.
Yeah, that's what I prefer most of the time.
Yeah,
that's preferable. So congrats, guys, if you're here. Congrats to all the projects, all the meme tokens, the Sonic team. Things are feeling pretty good right now. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we got to pass Hyperliquid. I think we will. I think things are like when Hyperliquid happens, it's going to be like people are going to go like that record stop kind of thing. People are like people that aren't paying attention are going to pay attention at that point. They have to.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many guys still just saying Hyperliquid every single day. Big accounts. Sisyphus, I think, is one of them.
Yeah. So it's gonna get bumpy, but in a good way. Eco projects are just going crazy right now. Shadow hitting like new all-time highs like every other day. Look at all this TVL, you know what I mean? 500% change in a month on Shadow. It's crazy.
It's freaking criminal, dude. It's freaking criminal. Once Andre said crime season, these guys took it way too serious.
And it's just interesting watching how, like we're looking down here at WAGME. Mm-hmm. Anon's kind of getting pummeled because most of their liquidity is on Solana. And I think you're seeing here that like most of the WAGME volume was just purely, like just so many people were trading Anon. But look at all this. I mean, this is just crazy. Like SwapX 131%, Shadow almost 500%, Beefy almost 400%. So volume is, flooding in here.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling you, dude, it's like the engine is here, buddy. All the mechanisms are in place to send this thing going crazy. And so we privileged few are capitalizing right now, but these soytards are going to wake up one day once they're tired of losing all their money, once they're poor and broken.
Well, the DeFi angle, and we've said this for a while, that, it is kind of more like it's more of like a slower burn. But it was inevitable with all the partnerships, all the projects coming, that volume was going to come with volume and the market uptick here eventually. Like, we're going to see price movement. We're going to see all that stuff. But right now, it's just like you're watching this in action. At the end of the last run, like I would say when the last run was kind of like topped, Fantom broke into, I can't remember. It was like, I want to say top 5 in volume. when things were just really at their height with like the solidly war and all that stuff. So we're on the way. And I feel like with all this volume coming, everything else is going to start going up with it.
Yeah, I gotta dig up we used to write like a newsletter and we kept track of all those metrics. I gotta dig that up because if I remember, Phantom was, like top 5 TVL and volume. Like it was crazy. But as also people were saying, prices always seem to lag behind like other performance metrics for like Phantom Sonic.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel. So I say accumulate, hang tight. It's inevitable at this point.
Accumulate, hang tight, farm your shadow, farm your metro, farm your whatever. All right, get out there, participate in the ecosystem.
Yeah, it's like I said, stop sitting around, gossiping, knitting. These are feminine things, boys. Get in the trenches. Get in the trenches.
I have been noticing this a lot lately in crypto. It seems like people stopped caring about making money recently and just started just gossiping.
It's like TMZ or something. It's like, come on, let's go.
Real house husbands of the blockchain is what it's like, dude. It's unbelievable on what I'm seeing out here.
Yeah.
But I do want to engage in a little bit of it, because when I see this Solana stuff specifically, it's pretty dramatic, dude. We can say that for later.
It's like
we need to vamp for time, but it's crazy out there.
We'll bring Eggs up here in a second, but I want to say like Solana kind of reminds me of like a scene in one of like the mafia movies where they like are rounding up everyone and arresting them. That's like what's happening right now. Is like all the big players are like getting outed. Everybody's like getting busted. Now,
I think that the big reveal is going to be SBF was innocent and Solana just made him do everything.
Whoa, that would be a twist. I mean, really, if Trump was smart, he would just let SBF out anyway.
Unleash him, dude. Yeah,
just let him out anyway, so we can pump the market. Dude would be killing it right now.
He's just waiting. He's waiting for the opportune moment. He's going to release the SBF.
I mean, you let Ross out for much worse, So come on. No, but seriously, it's just it's getting interesting. We're gonna keep moving on up. Yeah, Fallout says bring the FTX leverage. I still mourn my FTX perps area. I don't think anyone's really done it better since then, to be honest. I can't even really front on that.
Really? I never used it. I never used FTX because I was I was a DeFi maxi at the time. I was like, I'm not touching any of that centralized shit.
Yeah.
I was proven right.
So, but we're excited. We got Eggs here. We got some of the lads here. I think it's time we bring them up.
Let's bring these two we'll find out. Chads or Chuds? Are they Chads or are they Chuds? Blue Derpy and Jake, welcome to the show.
We should have had a whole new segment. Are they Chads or Chuds?
Yeah. Could have made an intro.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Happy to have you here. That's what's up, dude. And also, Eggs is up.
I do have to mention, though, on the FTX stuff, I was the same way. DeFi maxi, not touching that centralized shit. Lost nothing. Whole timeline was in shambles.
Yeah.
Sitting pretty. Got my stuff on a ledger. All good.
Yeah, I mean,
Sonic holder.
Yeah, like that was like when I first started getting into stuff, I was like on BitMEX all the time. And like FTX had been like the first thing that had kind of like made me feel like that with like the interface and everything. So I ran perps on there. I never really like kept tokens on there, but fortunate to not get like
with a small bag, that's all right?
Yeah. But definitely knew some people personally that just got like absolutely destroyed.
Oh yeah, I knew plenty of people. Well, I hear they're gonna be. Last I heard, aren't they like whole pretty much at this point? Like most of them. I guess it depends on what you were holding, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the joke. Is that if you were holding Bitcoin, you got boned, but Ethereum is literally getting handed out at the same price it is right now, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Look, Ethereum is just in an extended accumulation zone. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, if you had Ethereum on FTX, what you're getting back is essentially not far off from what it is right now. But yeah, like I think Bitcoin was getting returned at like $20,000 or something. So.
Oh my God, that's brutal. That's right. Follow Zone ETH is a stable now. It's called economy. It's called science. It's called mathematics. Now, let's talk a little bit about this. What's on the screen right here. Blue Derpy, what do you have to say for yourself?
I don't even know, man. We minted out in like 2 days, which was supposed to take months. So thank you guys for that. That was crazy, but yeah, we just wanted to make something that was sort of a safe way to play around in DeFi, where you could have a guarantee that you had upside versus Sonic on the token you were getting into. You didn't have to worry about going to sleep every night and someone, dumping everything on your head and losing out. And honestly, you're hoping when you go to sleep, someone dumps everything, because then the price is going to pump up and you're going to win. So it's really, we wanted to just create something that sort of rewarded the bag holder and not the dumper and the trader and the paper hands. We wanted the last guy to win. So I think we got a great start right now. We have, almost, I think it's like 600 million in total value locked. And so, you can get in with a small bag and outhold all those people and collect fees off of them exiting or, taking borrow positions. So, yeah, it's just been really fun to sort of see it take off like it has. And now we've got a lot of liquidity incentives coming. So it's just going to continue to sort of keep the flywheel going, and the bag holders are going to keep winning.
Right on.
So what, I was just going to say, like, how did you plan this out? I mean, how did this come together? I mean, this is the system is pretty interesting.
Yeah. So kind of like a while back. So I've been doing this since like 2020 now, maybe 2021, like sort of in November of 2020 is when I started writing Solidity and sort of like getting really into the blockchain space. And so at that time, I was sort of into NFTs, and I thought of this idea of like, hey, I want to create this system where people can go and sell us their NFTs and then get a token back, and then they can go and write it off on their taxes if their NFT went to zero, basically. So I was like, okay, well, how do we create a token that kind of can handle that, or like it's not going to make us lose or the token holder lose? And so that was sort of the original concept, was a project called JPEGers on Ethereum. And that one didn't have any of the lending or the leverage positions or anything like that. It was just sort of this token that only went up, and you would go and sell your NFTs that were worth nothing, pay a small fee, get back the token, and then those fees would basically keep the token value increasing as you did that. So sort of what happened with that was it ended up going away from the whole narrative of the NFTs, and people started seeing that the token was really cool. They could buy into something that was never going to go down, get rewards for providing liquidity, etc. So people sort of jumped on that. We had a big wave, but then it sort of teetered off because there was no real access to the backing we had created with the Ethereum backing in that case. So now with this new version of eggs, you have full access to the backing of the token. So you can borrow like up to 99% if you do a single day loan, or I think it's a 4% interest rate if you do a full year loan. And you can get all of your Sonic back and do stuff with it. So you can hold the position in eggs and also do other things and repay that Sonic eventually and get your eggs position back. Or if eggs increase, you can, just remove collateral or do things like that and, let your position get liquidated if you want to. So it's sort of up to the user to kind of to play around in different ways. And there's abilities to create leverage to like basically looping these positions. So, you borrow Sonic from your eggs, you buy more eggs on Shadow, and then you do that repeatedly, and you can build up huge positions that are very low risk and are only on a time-based loan. So as long as you pay it back in time, you're all good. You can extend it for the same interest rates that you were creating the position for. So just want to make things sort of like really fair and smooth with like the lending borrowing perspective.
Yeah, and I mean, what I like about it, we've seen tokens before that have kind of tried the slight fee or whatever to increase the backing, but I thought that part was what made it interesting was first of all having the actual cap. That I think that helps a lot, but then yeah, I mean the fact that maybe you can explain this part too is just like the deflationary part, because I tried to explain that last episode was like the point of it would be like, okay, you hit mint out and then people are still putting S into the system of all the other mechanisms, but with the loans, supply is actually getting burnt, right?
Yep, exactly. So when people are, letting their positions expire, those tokens are burnt, and there's no way to go back and mint those. So it's not like we have an elastic supply where it's the 100 billion, and you can mint them after they get burned. So yeah, so the supply is just going to continually decrease, and eventually we'll hit a point where we start to see the backing be able to move a lot, or the price on the contract move a lot more, because we have so many less tokens, and people are still using the system, still extending their loans, and borrowing, trading, looping, leveraging. So we're going to add to the interface pretty soon a one-click loop, so you can choose how many loops you want to do. It'll go, you can set like a slippage or whatever, and then you can go and just single click and loop up leverage again, because if you were on the app before mint out, you were able to do leverage positions because you're actually minting tokens when you were creating those positions, but that's no longer available. But the same process is still there. It's just not as efficient anymore.
Yeah, I literally just did that after mint out as well. I got some more because I was like, all right, well, at the rate we're going now that we have mint out, price is going to start slowly moving. But I was like, oh wait, I have to like manually loop now. So that took me a while.
Yeah, so it's not very fun. So we'll make that easier for everybody. We just, we weren't expecting a 3-day mint out here. We were expecting it to be a little bit longer. So, we're working on getting things moving quicker than we had sort of in our initial timelines. But we've got a lot of fun stuff coming on some other ways that are going to be burning eggs. So that's cool sort of stuff to come, but don't want to put too much out there yet, just because sometimes plans shift and stuff like that. So I don't want to officially announce anything until we're ready, but we've got some cool stuff in the works that's going to keep burning eggs. And before, when you had mentioned, I forgot to say this when you were talking about the burn. So essentially, because there's a floor price on the eggs, when we get arbitrage opportunities, like in the case where say S pumps and now people need to make the price of S even with eggs on Shadow, someone's going to go and take that opportunity, and they're going to potentially burn those eggs when that opportunity comes. Maybe we'll get someone who wants to hold the eggs, but I feel like a lot of times it'll be like bots that are sniping those opportunities when the eggs price goes below floor on the exchanges, and then they're just going to immediately burn those tokens, and that's going to contribute to the deflationary aspect. So as Sonic pumps, we're going to get burns. So that's going to be sort of another fun aspect as we sort of head into the Sonic bull market here. At least I think we're heading into it.
Yes, dude. It's all going according to plan.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too, is, I mean, there's been so much kind of like emphasis on, getting to that mint out spot. I mean, the DeFi stuff hasn't even really started yet, where, we were talking before the show about like everything that's about to hit Shadow here, like this week.
Yeah, we're going to have like so far with the vote, it's going to be like 350,000 in X Shadow emissions that are going to go out to the eggs USDCE pool.
How many?
It's actually up to $393,000 right now.
All right. So sorry, I checked it like 10 minutes ago. So yeah, we got a lot of rewards coming out, and there's not very much liquidity in that pool right now. There's about $400,000 in liquidity last time I checked in that pool. So there's almost more rewards going out than there is liquidity in the pool. So I don't see any way that people don't take advantage of that and create positions to capture on those fees.
Yeah, I mean, that's because I was just doing the math in my head on, and I'm like, maybe I'm giving away too much alpha here, right? But thinking as like someone that works on projects, would it not be maybe a smart idea to make some LP with eggs if you had a token or a project, or you know what I'm saying? Something to think about, just putting it out there.
I think they should leave it to the professionals like me, dude.
Yeah.
You know, stay in your lane. Let me handle this one, guys. I got this.
That is one of the funny things about DeFi too, is people love to hide what they're doing because their strategy's working and they know people are gonna dilute their strategy if they give it away. So like, it's such a fun game because it's like, it's not really like, you got to be smart to win. You got to really like work at it. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna follow this guy and ape this coin and then hopefully sell before the dev sells on me 5 minutes later. You know, it just creates like some ways for like people who like actually think about shit and are actually like really involved and like doing their research to get ahead.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely seems like you know, like comparing it to like memes, it feels like all right. So when people tell me they were doing research on meme tokens, I'd always be like, what does that even fucking mean, dude?
Right.
Like what can you possibly know about this? It's like
Bubble maps and call it a day.
yeah, like all you can do is examine all these trends that are very easily like manipulated or just like wrong, like how many holders are there or whatever. But with like DeFi stuff, it's like I gotta figure out a fucking system, dude. And if I can figure out how the system works, I can find an edge.
Yeah, that's kind of like our approach to a lot of this is also like, hey, we can do DeFi and have these complicated mechanics going on and like also have fun and make memes and you know, interact with the community and make this a fun thing, not just like math and trying to scrap the most yield out as you can. Obviously that's the goal, but why not have fun with it too?
Yeah, exactly. I like that's what I really like about it. You guys have a really fun thing going on here. I mean, like I love all the responses and stuff. Every time I see a post, I chuckle, dude. It's always pretty funny. There's just a lot you can do with eggs. It's kind of like an egg is just kind of a funny thing. I don't know why.
It's perfect timing with like the real egg crisis too. Like
yeah, it's perfect.
We were going for like Eggman, like, you know, Sonic, Eggman. We're like, we can't do Eggman because that's going to be some copyright issue stuff or whatever. So we're like, all right, eggs it is. And then, yeah, we went more egg than Eggman.
I think making it broader is definitely like better because you could do Eggman still, you know?
Yeah, you can do both. Yeah, can mess around with whatever we want.
Yeah, but there's also like, look at that. Eggman's cheeks all out. Looking like a snack. No,
Tattoo.
but yeah, no, I think this is like it's like a meme DeFi thing. It's kind of awesome. It's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and you know, I think that's like part of the reason that, you know, I take zero credit for this. This was all Jake. I don't handle the Twitter. I write the code. But you know, that's like one of the reasons that the Sonic Foundation reached out to us to begin with, was they liked the Twitter. They're like, you guys are fun, and that's what we want here. So, you know, it's sort of one of the reasons that they kind of took a chance on us, and you know, I feel like proved that it was worth it for them. So yeah, I think it's been like a great just a great presence that we're sort of now trying to bring to Sonic, where we can make this fun.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, because we're getting you know, it feels like everyone is trying to like mature a little bit on Sonic. We got a lot more. We're leaving the Halloween shit behind. It's time to bring the eggs on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bring the.
I just wanted to zoom in on Eggman's cheeks there.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of it. He's got a tattoo there.
He's inked up a little bit.
Yeah. He's
He's
got
kind
the
of a
eggs
bad boy.
tattoo, yeah.
Drewski be going crazy for that, dude.
Oh yeah, man. So, but yeah, so I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I'm definitely interested to see like what will you know, what will happen here, like within, you know, I don't know, looking like 2-3 months down the road. It's gonna be interesting to see, like, as this supply keeps like getting burnt and the backing keeps going up. And then now, you know, with Shadow and some other stuff, like, you know, like I said, the DeFi stuff hasn't even really kicked in yet because all of this is so fresh. I mean, it's like just happened, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we're what, 3 days old now, I think, 4. So
It feels like a lifetime already. But,
right? Like I feel like it's been a month.
Like, yeah, like Mint Out was like 2 weeks ago, right? Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, congrats on all this, guys. And thanks for hopping on. We'll have to bring you guys back on here not too long. Get an update on how things are going.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, thanks for having us on. It's been fun chatting with you guys. Good combos, and always good listening to you guys on here. So yeah, we're always willing to come back on. Just shoot us a message.
Awesome. We're definitely gonna have you, dude. We got to know what's cooking.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have some updates here in a bit.
Yeah, when you're ready to drop that alpha, how dare you come on here and talk about alpha and then just be like, I can't tell you any. So
Yeah.
Can't spill the yolk, you know.
So, all right, guys. Well, we appreciate it. And yeah, if you're not in eggs yet, you need to go check it out, read up on it. I think it's going to get really interesting here soon. So check it out. And thanks again, guys. We'll chat soon.
Yeah, thank you guys. This was fun.
Peace, fellas. All right. Dracula, what's next? The SBTC on rings?
Yeah. Wanted to talk about that. You know, that's a huge move. This just like got announced, like, you know, right before the show. They had been talking about they wanted to have a way to bring Bitcoin over into like rings. So pretty big deal. I mean,
is this the prophecy that the assistant made coming true?
Yeah, I was gonna reference the assistant, talking about how, you know, they've been working hard to like find ways to get Bitcoin on chain, just because people with Bitcoin have a lot of it. They're always looking for something to do with it. They don't want to sell their Bitcoin. They want to like keep, you know, farming with it or doing something. So I feel like that was a really big step, and it was a really smart move also to kind of like focus on, you know, what really is going to bring like the big boys here. So I haven't even looked at the site yet, so I'm not sure what the process is for, you know, anything that, you know, Rings has. There'll be like a way to bridge it. So I'm not even sure what, you know, what that process is, what to look at it. But yeah, you know, now we got scBTC. There's that Lombard BTC vault that had already brought millions in TVL, and it's just getting started. So I'm excited to see Bitcoin on all our DeFi sites, because I am also kind of in that boat. Like I always am acquiring Bitcoin, but I don't want to sell it, you know? So this is like exciting to be like, hey, I can like move some of my Bitcoin onto Sonic, you know?
Yeah, so now you can have like your savings actually on Sonic as well, like an easy in and out. Is that kind of it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just like, especially with like the DeFi that's been happening, I'm sure that there's going to be Bitcoin yields that like nobody else has. Because if you're familiar with it, you know, most of the time Bitcoin's like, you know, your yields are like savings account yields. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you can earn 3% or you can earn 0.5% or, you know, whatever. So I think with the landscape of DeFi right now, if anybody's going to give good yield on Bitcoin, I bet it's going to be Sonic, and I think it's going to be huge.
I'm interested to see how they do it, because to be honest, I've never really whenever I think about Bitcoin, I think of it as literally just Bitcoin. Like, I don't think about it doing anything. I don't think of it having to even yield or anything. So I'm kind of curious to learn a little bit more about like how you do DeFi at all with Bitcoin. I'm assuming you just make like a wrapped synthetic asset, right? And then just swap it around.
Yeah, basically, there is wrapped Bitcoin is the biggest one, obviously, which I just pulled up Rings, and that's what it is here. Is you can go from wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum into wrapped Bitcoin on Sonic, which will then turn into scBTC. So yeah, there's just ways to basically off ramp your Bitcoin onto like Ethereum. My favorite one is actually using Avalanche Core Wallet. They have a product that's a BTCB, and that to me is, I mean, I've never actually used the WBTC, so I'm not sure like how hard it is to on or off ramp. But Core on Avalanche is just kind of nice because you're also not paying Ethereum fees. So you know, it's a process where you literally just with your Bitcoin zap it to a wallet, to an address that they give you, and that, you know, spits it out on Avalanche for you. So
now we got a wrapped product on Sonic, and now people are going to build all kinds of freaky deaky shit to do with it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait, man. I think it's going to be.
Is there a lot of appetite for? I feel like when it comes to like the Bitcoin community, I feel like like the majority of Bitcoin holders, like the super whales and shit, just like are content to just sit on it. and not do anything with it, because it kind of like matches like their ethos. But I still think it's probably a pretty good market to capture, because there's a significant chunk that are like Drac here, where she's like, I'm in crypto, bro, but I shuffle the profits into Bitcoin essentially.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that are always, I mean, it's billions of dollars. I mean, yeah, probably some very small percent compared to like the actual people that hold Bitcoin, but even just capturing like 5-6% or whatever, that's, you're still talking about billions of dollars that are just usually sitting around on chain, and they're always, like I said, I mean, they're always hunting for something to do with their Bitcoin.
What is the current Bitcoin? Yeah, it's $1 trillion market. It's almost a $2 trillion market. It's like an insane amount of money to be bringing on. So I'm excited for this too. Hell, I might even get into Bitcoin, dude. My old millennial Zoomer ass. I might get into Bitcoin.
And that's the great part about it, is making it liquid on Sonic. I mean, you can literally just buy it on Sonic. And if you ever need to off ramp it, gets a little more complicated, but there are ways to off ramp, like let's say you buy a bunch of Bitcoin on Sonic and you want to actually just hold it like in a Bitcoin wallet. There's ways to do it. So
I don't know if anyone in the audience right now, Fallout Zone, my number one guy here, you in on Bitcoin? You be shuffling your profits into Bitcoin? You big Bitcoin guy? You excited for this? I want to know. Just curious. Because I feel like I might be the only one, dude. Sometimes when I talk to people, I'm like the only guy that doesn't own any Bitcoin.
I think it almost just depends on like when you kind of came into like, years ago, it was just kind of like you had just a little bit of Ethereum, DeFi, and ERC20 shitters and Bitcoin. That's like, there just wasn't really, I don't know. So I still kind of view it that way, where like to me Bitcoin is still kind of like it's more like a longer term play for me. Like that's why I don't sell it. But of course, like nothing really beats playing in DeFi and making those kind of trades and investing in those kind of things. So that's kind of the way I view it, is like there's benefits to holding both.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's like a maturity thing almost. I think it's reminding me like my 401k or something. You know what I mean? Like when I first got my job, I wasn't saving any. Like when I was first working, I wasn't saving hardly any money. But now that I'm a grown man, I'm acclimated to DeFi. I'm having fun and making money out here. It's time to get serious about my future and start getting some scBTC.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's kind of like you said, where it's like you don't necessarily like hear a lot about it. So, it's funny though, because like I said, it's not necessarily like always like a super sexy, loud thing, but kind of like people that work on things like chains and dabble in like this kind of stuff. Like they're gonna definitely be like excited that like, dude, this will bump us above 1 billion TVL, I believe.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm telling you, buddy. Hyperliquid's going to go down in no time, bro.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Another big one, that was just this morning, but yesterday, Euler dropped on Sonic, and Euler is like another gigantic lending borrow protocol. So we already had Silo, and yeah, I mean, now we also have Euler here, which is huge. They came out with like a bunch of incentives right out the gate to get you in there. And yeah, I mean, we're still waiting for the Aave shoe to drop, but this is a big one.
Yeah, I hear about Euler a lot. Everyone loves it, but I don't really know what's distinct about Euler as opposed to other lending projects, protocols, but it's brought a shitload of TVL.
Yeah, I mean, essentially Euler's a little different, where it's kind of like, it's interesting. As you'll see, like above a lot of the vaults, there's like actual like names. And that is because like people can like make their own vaults with like their own capital and have people borrow and lend. And, they can kind of make like investment strategies for returns. So there's a little more to it than just like a pure lending borrowing market. But yeah, but it's, it's huge that they're here. Like I said, it's another big step. We need, looking at Silo is great, but, you could tell they're already kind of like hitting like a capacity, right? Like we need like 2 or 3 big lending markets. And I mean, look at Euler's stats here.
Oh my God.
So big money.
Look, that's so crazy, dude. Like it's like this march up and then collapse, then march up, then collapse. Resilient.
So they have like a little bit of a like a comeback story as well. As you can see on the chart here, they got hit really hard with the FTX collapse, and then they had like, this is going back, they had a hack, which that's been all obviously resolved because they've been churning along since. But yeah, I mean, still just like super big amount of TVL locked. Super excited they're here. I mean, this stuff's already filling up pretty good if you look at it.
Any vaults standing out to you right now?
Well, yesterday there was crazy, like when these markets first launched, there's always like crazy APR, So as of today, I feel like, obviously just lending SCUSD, just putting it on the market, you don't even have to borrow against it or anything, earning 25%. I don't think there's anything on chain bigger than that yet. Beethoven's pool that you can put SCUSD in, and it has some kind of strategy built in. I think that's earning between 16 and 20%, kind of like rotating around. So 25% on that to park your SCUSD, that's big. And same thing with Ethereum here, SC ETH, 18% just to single-sided, put your money in there and you can just let it sit there. That's pretty big.
Over 15% on 2 different stables. That's crazy.
Yeah, so APRs are still really good, and that's even with all this volume. They're incentivizing it like with their token. So there are some mechanics to the token where it's like, I think you can only claim 25% right at the rip, and then the rest of it you have to like wait some time. But still, I mean, even at that rate, like Mendoza's saying here, the Merkle reward is given out in R Euler or whatever, and I think it has like a 6-month vesting, but right out the gate you can claim 25%, and then that starts falling off. So still pretty good rates there.
Right on. Dude, yeah. I mean, look, it's shaping up, dude. We're developing a sophisticated DeFi market structure. We finally have lending markets, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah, lending is obviously cornerstone on any big DeFi space. And, so I'm excited that we got Euler. Now we got Silo, we got Euler, and Aave's still coming. So get ready.
God. I wonder how Aave is going to affect this, dude. Do you think it's going to be better or worse for these protocols? Well, for us using these competition,
I think it's better for everybody. Because Euler is a very large market, Silo is a very large market, Aave obviously one of the biggest there is, but to have these larger size markets all on Sonic, I mean, you're talking about constantly the rates adjusting. I think you're going to have a lot of opportunities to still find better yields than anywhere else in DeFi. They're going to be competing for that. So I think you're going to see a lot more lending being incentivized, which doesn't necessarily happen a lot on other chains. So, I mean, all in all, it's like, I think that's exactly what you want. You want big competition for something like lending.
Right on. Yeah. Get a better rates for everybody involved, faster response. Nice. Well, do we have anything else we want to cover today? I mean,
let's see. It looks like the assistant is hopped in. Do you got any alpha assistant? What do you got?
Yo, of course.
What do you got for us?
First alpha. I don't know if you guys talked about it, but the GMSONIC boys are coming to the main stage.
Yeah, we haven't discussed that yet. We haven't dropped the bomb, but I guess now's a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I figured I'd drop the bomb because it's going to happen pretty soon. But what do you? Oh, I thought you were drinking a coffee over there or something. Corval.
I mean, what if I was? Curious. What are you going to do about it, assistant?
I was curious what kind of
Oh no, this is a fancy Japanese pen. $3.
$3.
Yeah, $3, 2 of them.
Oh, okay, that's not that bad. I was like, $3 for a Japanese version of a Bic pen is pretty horrible.
Well, look, of a big pen, you're not doing this thing justice. Look, you get one of these things,
Are you a
I'm not-
pen, like a aficionado or what?
No, I mean, it's just a really good pen.
Got it. Okay, I can
You
respect
know,
that.
it never does that thing where you have to like rub it like a bunch to write. It just
Got it.
immediately writes every time.
I used to have like an obsession with like gel pens when I was in like 3rd grade.
Yeah. And this isn't a gel
Yo,
pen.
I saw
I'm a
your
grown
pen
man.
is on. Oh, hello.
Well, actually, yeah, I guess we'll say that while assistant's here. Yeah, we're about to shift the stream to actually coming live from the Sonic Labs account on X. So that should be a much larger audience, obviously. We're really excited about that. And I don't know if we'll give away who the new 3rd host is. But
Oh yeah, it's
we'll
definitely not. It's not me. Put it that way.
yeah, it's not assistant, but there is going to be a new 3rd added.
But I do actually have alpha. I actually have my own show coming. Yeah, not a stream, like a spaces every week. I think we'll probably tweet about it today, but it's gonna be every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Eastern. And it's called The Assistant Uncensored. And basically, yeah.
Have you ever been censored, dude? What are you talking
No,
about?
I haven't, but it's just I think like it's time that we like have more candid conversations and have like some interesting guests that isn't like like the format of having a spaces. I'll walk you through like how it works. Like normally when you have BD and marketing and stuff with like a chain and a project, it's like very transactional. Like, hey, we'd like to get you on a spaces. Like, okay, what day works? Okay, great. This works. Okay, cool. What are we going to talk about? And then you get on and it's just like shilling their own product the whole time.
Mhm.
So I've tried to like get people from outside the Sonic ecosystem and inside, just like a general like conversation. So I think tomorrow, I mean, these 2 people tomorrow are, one is inside the ecosystem, one is outside. So tomorrow the 2 guests that I'm like kind of doing it with, it's like, I don't know, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, just like kind of bullshitting. Ideally we talk 25% about Sonic, 75% about other stuff. That's like kind of the way that I've framed it so far.
Yeah, I think I should talk about movies.
Dude,
Well,
I had a call yesterday with like a huge protocol that has, let me see how much TVL they have. Hold on. Before I say anything, please hold.
Yeah, and when you're done doing that, I got something I think we should all watch together.
Yeah.
My
We
internet
brought
sucks.
Derpy in to take you out.
Yeah, I brought Derpy in here because I want to get his take on what I'm about to show you guys.
Bro, I talked to a protocol yesterday, 5.5 billion TVL. We spoke about basketball for the first 10 minutes. Like, it does, like, every single conversation doesn't need to be about crypto. So anyway, tomorrow the guest will be like Sun, who's the founder of Veda. Veda is like the back end of Rings and like has like this like has the boring vaults and like cross-chain liquidity. And then the other guy is Eduardo, and he's from Galaxy Digital, and he's a friend that we communicate with frequently, like a lot of DeFi experts from like different funds and stuff who are like involved in the Sonic ecosystem, where like you don't really realize it, but they are. So like that would be like the first kind of chat tomorrow. And yeah, we'll have pretty interesting guests like every week. I'll probably have like 2 or 3.
Also,
Well,
this is at 1 or noon.
Is
yeah,
that
noon EST.
Yeah, it's at noon EST. So I think they'll probably I'll try and have them put it out today so that people can like set reminders, and then yeah, we'll take it from there.
So speaking of content,
Go.
we are being absolutely assaulted. They're coming for us again. Monad can't stop biting us.
Bro.
And I wanted to play you the worst video you've ever seen in your life if you're ready. So let's check it out. This is Monad in the morning, not to be confused with GMSONIC. But Jesus, let's watch.
You wake up, come on, Ad. You check the charts, you scroll X, and somehow you're still out of the loop.
Not anymore.
Welcome to Monad Morning.
Not
Your
anymore.
new weekly live stream
Not anymore.
on everything that's happening in Monad, crypto, and whatever else is shaking up the internet.
From big tech moves to deep dives on Monad development, spicy takes on the latest crypto drama, a little pop culture, and even a weather report from John W. Rich Kid himself.
I'll be coming to you live here from Gary, Indiana, to report the weather and everything that's happening in the community and talk about a lot of things that are accelerating, including my from here on out. Tune on in.
Monad in the mornings is your source of truth. And as the ecosystem grows, so will the show. More segments, more coverage, more chaos.
It'll be fun, informative, and 100% clippable.
That's right. We want you to clip us. We're giving the Monad community the content, and you can go out and spread the word.
We're streaming live on Twitch and X every week, right after the launch of public testnet.
So make sure to follow, subscribe, and turn on post notifications because you are not going to want to miss
Andrew
this.
Tate
Come on,
shit
man.
is this.
These guys will do anything other than launch a product, dude. It's crazy.
I was so wrong. This was totally serious. I thought this was gonna be a parody or something, but that was totally serious, and that was.
Actually, I have a good idea. Why don't we do this? Why doesn't we could, as a foundation, first of all, we need to get you guys in the same state.
Yeah.
City. So first we'll buy you guys like a luxury high-rise apartment somewhere,
Okay.
maybe Miami Beach, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then we set up like a
Okay.
Sonic, kind of thing going on there. And then we can compete with the level of cringe that we're seeing here.
Yeah, I mean that was painful. I remember we always talk about this joke on the show where when we first started, there was this guy that was like in a Discord and he was so mad. He goes, "This show sucks." He goes, "They don't even have a studio."
Yeah.
We were like, bro, like we
listen
live in different states. How are we? I was like, oh, so we'll just fly Corval out here once a week, and I'll fly to him once a week, and we'll build matching studios. And
what we could do is you guys could just move into the same trailer park that Corval lives in, and then it's like super
This is
easy.
crazy. Like, why am I catching a stray here, dude?
So we'll set up an extra trailer next to Corval's trailer.
I'd love that.
You guys can just like, it's like actually, what most ideal is like a stepbrother situation where you have two bunk beds like glued together.
Oh, I like the bunk bed idea. That's nice.
Can't go wrong.
What will they call the
We could
house?
move it-
They got
we
like
could
the
move it
main,
Why don't we just move into the assistant's house into his spare room and we can get the bunk beds there?
Sure, bro, you're more than welcome. If you want to live in a trailer park, I live in one myself.
You got a bubble wipe?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm
You
trying
know-
to think now. What could it be called? Like, what could this like? We need to be more cringy. I have this conversation with the team a lot. We need to level up the cringe here because it's clearly getting 41K views on this. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Corval said, they will basically do anything but launch a chain. So
Hey, it's launching tomorrow. Okay.
so
I've got
we'll see what they forked for the test net tomorrow.
Oh, I can't say anything. I can't. This is bad. I can't
Yeah.
talk about this on
I
here.
mean, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Is
I've interacted with a lot of Monad people. They're fine people, but I don't really understand what's going on over there. Like what is motivating everybody? Like there's
vibes.
Airdrop and bop farming.
They're running on vibes, bro. That's
just what does that even fucking mean, dude? Like it's a chat room? Like what does that mean?
I don't
That's
know.
exactly what it is. It's just a Discord with rankings, and it's like it's a social thing. I think at this point, I want to be straight up and just make it like clear. My stance on this is that if they have built tech that is really stand out, good for them. That's my official stance as like a foundation like member, right? On the other hand, I can't help but look through their docs, and their docs look very similar, and the narrative is copy paste of Sonic. And look, there's only one way to know, and that's when the thing is live. When and if it's live, you just do a code diff and you just see what's really what, and things will come to light if it is forked and whatever. I just find it strange that like after we go to mainnet, all of a sudden now the testnet is ready. So
Yeah, interesting. Maybe just biding some time in a way. We kind of saw what happened with Barra. When you hype something that long, but you obviously have a lot of VC money tied up.
They said 20% of their supply is they only did 20%. I was reading a lot last night on I was deep into the Monad trenches last night.
Did you learn about Molendoc?
Dude, I want to know. I got a serious question. How much money has the Monad Foundation spent on like plush toys and like stickers?
It's could have made a return. I don't know.
Yeah, it must be a write-off or something.
I mean, like it's pretty wild.
Yeah, so I don't know. Just got a kick out of that. Like I said, that was what went through my head was exactly what Corval said, which was like these guys will go on any fucking side mission to just not put their chain out. So
Yeah,
next
I mean,
there's gonna be like a documentary film coming out about the making of the chain or something, like, you know.
yeah,
The vibe-
guaranteed.
It gives me the vibe of like something that you'll like look back on in like a year or two, and it's like a 60 minutes episode or something. Like
What happened?
yeah, like what tonight on 60 minutes we're gonna break down what really was happening, and it's just like it just shows an office, and in that office there's only like 7 people working or something. I don't know.
I feel like they're not even popular enough for that. I don't even know who Monad is. This is the first time I'm hearing of them. So
Well, now you're in the algorithm, buddy. It's all you're
Yeah.
gonna see.
Yeah, you're gonna see a bunch of good monads.
I envy you now, because now you have so much lore you can catch up on. Now you got something to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I just might throw it in the mute, you know. I did with Solana a long time ago.
Another chain that looks, I mean, that's getting some steam is like Mega ETH. Like, again, this is like kind of why I want my own show too. Like, because I want to talk about things that aren't Sonic too, because I think it just pays to have the conversation about like quote unquote competitors, so that this way we can really explain like why we're in the good positioning that we're in.
Yeah, for sure.
With the Mega ETH thing, with the one ETH like NFT price, I swear, like a year ago there was some other project that did the same thing and like released the 1 ETH price, was going to at least do like a streaming platform or something, had this whole BS website, and it instantly went to zero within like 2 days. And I feel like it's just the exact same thing is going to happen.
I mean, Mega ETH has like extreme performance. I mean, I think that our team looks at all these things. Like people think like message us all the time, like, have you guys seen what so-and-so chain is doing? And it's like, yeah, like we try to keep up with this stuff. There's a new chain like every 5 minutes, but
yeah,
it's hard because, you know, we'll have conversations with some applications and stuff, and then they'll tell us like, hey, like, again, I'm being very transparent here because I just want to be truthful so that people understand like what we go through on our side. It's like we'll talk to an application and be like, oh, you know, we're really focused on this other chain right now. And then like you go look at that chain and they have like 3 million TVL, and it's like, how like what is the logic here? We're like hitting every metric organically from our side, and like we're just playing the game fair and doing everything right, like no VC like cliff, none of that, and like somehow we still get slept on. I think it's going to get to the point where like people will wake up to it. I don't feel like people are going to be sleeping on it forever. Like don't get me wrong. I just think that there's so much fluff out there right now that people just get so easily like caught up in like these like short-winded narratives that aren't necessarily going to be around for like 6 months, let alone like 6 years, like Fantom has been. Fantom's been around for 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, yeah, like, I mean, I guess I kind of put, when I think about this style of launch with Monad, you know, obviously you kind of put Bera and Monad in the same category. And I just can't really imagine having gone through that much of a hype cycle. And then the chain launches and the memes are flopping. They're not good. The DeFi is not good.
Well, you just need to have really good applications. I will say that I did see that they're like, I mean, I did see today that they have Uniswap, which I find mind-boggling. But look, I think that I was going to send out a tweet before. I don't know if I sent it or not. Sometimes I'll like write a tweet and then I'll delete it because I just like have second thoughts. But like there is like a VC cabal out there, you know, like they all have vested interest in each other. So, you know, we're not a part of that. Maybe that's like the biggest weak point. I think everyone on our team would agree is that like you sign a deal with the devil when you raise all that VC money, but it definitely makes things easier in the short term. You know what I mean? Like if you want to get a big launch like Uniswap, like you kind of got to be in that like circle. And like if you're not raising tons of money and you're not really in that circle, but we try to circumnavigate that. Aave, for example, like we were able to get that. We were able to get other big applications. Would I love to have Uniswap? Absolutely. Do I think that Uniswap will start launching on like 1 million chains just as much as Coinbase is listing 1 million tokens? Yes. So like the value of those kind of like tier 1 deployments kind of starts to wither away the more chains that they launch on. So it's kind of tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's just almost like I viewed it in the bear as like, you know, people were launching L2s, you know, like they were shit coins because people learned that there was more VCs used to just more like back projects, and I think it just kind of became like, oh, I mean, there's literally at this point, it's kind of just like a game plan that's pretty easy to follow, and you're guaranteed to, 10x, if not more, whatever your investment is. And like I said, it's just an interesting shift where I think we're getting to the end of that, seeing how some of these VC chains, like the last handful, have gone. I think we're kind of nearing the end of that era. But
I give Barachain the credit at least, because Barachain was trying to do some. I mean, I don't want to say was like they're dead, but they are still trying to do something unique, right? Like anyone who's looking to do something unique, I give you so much credit because it's not easy. Yeah. But then on the other hand, when you just see so many super chain optimistic rollups and they're just all the same thing, then I get to the point where I'm like, how is it possible that VC, you start to realize something. You start to realize that there's so much money to be made in L2s that they're not investing in these L2s for the narrative of the L2 itself. They just look at it another way to make money. Like
I said, it's like a project raise or something where they just know that you're going to get they know that there's probably about a somewhat of a set return they're going to get on it. It's a literal ABC.
That's the other thing too, right? That I wrote a thread on this recently where it's if you invest in a layer 1, right? Let's say hypothetically I launch a chain called XYZ chain. If you invest in that layer 1, what are you investing in? You're investing in getting the token. You're getting vested tokens of that token and you're staking it and getting more of that token. So your exit liquidity and your actual ROI on your investment is 100% dependent on the depth of liquidity of that token and of the success of that project. But when you launch a layer 2 and you're using Ethereum on the sequencer, it just gives you a whole other exit in terms of investment, because if you're getting equity in the sequencer or something, however they're raising, you're getting ETH. You're getting ETH plus whatever the shit coin is that you're just getting.
Yeah, so all they have to do is farm you. They just say, hey, we're going to give you all these points, bring your ETH over, spend do all these things on chain to earn these points, and basically
they're giving you a valueless token in a way.
Yeah, they give you a valueless token. They get ETH off of you doing shit on the network, and it's so extractive. It's annoying.
Well, they've figured out. I mean, that's kind of what I was gonna write today, was about in terms of value extraction. Everyone you see talking about right now is talking about Solana and all the sniper and all this cabal extraction. It's that extraction is extreme, because it's so short time span. It's not value extraction over the course of months. It's over the course of minutes or hours, right? But the value extraction from the VC side has been going on EVM forever. It's just they do it much more palatable, if that's a word. It's just more appealing, and it's not as extreme, and you don't really notice it. But the amount of money that's being taken out of the ecosystem is still massive.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it just doesn't, I don't know. Yeah, it's extraction is, I guess, the best word for it, because it's just I think that you're basically recycling the same money between the same people, but every time they've done it, it's the returns keep getting diminished. So it's
are they just short-sighted? How can this continue to function? Is it they just are planning to exit so quickly? Wouldn't a traditional setup be 5-10 years or something? So that, I mean, not in crypto, I mean just in general, right? A normal business where I don't want you to just dump my fucking stock immediately and ruin my business.
Familiar with it, but I would say that historically, and if you look at the analytics of the crypto industry, the vesting tends to be anywhere between 2 to 4 year for these newer projects.
Mm-hmm.
But that's I guess maybe shorter than what traditional finance would be. I don't know, but the logic behind that is just that the life cycle of projects in this space are just shorter in general.
Mm-hmm.
But the other, I wrote a tweet last night about it, because I'm these things just keep me up, and they bother me, because you look at these chains and you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. For example, this is a fact, and I'm not talking trash. I'm just literally stating facts here. Barachain, they raise money, amazing, but all the tokens apparently that they have for VCs, they're staked. So like let me give you an example of what that means. That's as if you made an investment in a company in like traditional finance, and you invested and said, hey, I'm going to invest treasury bills into your project, but I'm going to keep all the yield from the treasury bills.
That's a sweet deal, dude.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, but then it's like, it goes even worse than that. That's actually the best case scenario, because the liquidity of the US dollar is like infinitely deep. But like, if you're selling just like bearer tokens that you're earning or whatever, like that kind of sucks. Like, and I don't think that I think that these deals happen all the time. Like, again, I don't want to just like point out bearer specifically, but like, I'm sure it happens all the time, because VCs, they want to get a hedged risk, right? So if they're like, oh, well, I'm writing a $30 million check and my token's going to be vested, how can I hedge against like the potential downside of this chain? And it's like, well, I need to be able to sell consistently to kind of hedge against that huge 30 million that I put up. Even if it's just a little bit, it's better than nothing. But yeah, I mean, like Sonic, people ask us all the time. Like, people ask us at Sonic all the time. Like, I get calls, like Sam and myself, we take calls all the time with VCs. They all want the same thing: OTC deals, massive discount on spot, vesting, sure, but they want it to be staked.
Yeah, there you go. So it's like, what's even the point?
I mean, in the what everything boils down to in business and in crypto in general, like specifically, is the value that you're giving less than the value that you're receiving. Like, that's the general principle. Like, if you do a deal like that, what are they gonna do for you that makes it worthwhile for the rest of the treasury, for the ecosystem? It's kind of hard to find out like the silver lining, because they can't guarantee anything.
Yeah. I mean,
and they can guarantee they can dump on you, bro.
Yeah.
They're gonna send that shit to zero. I don't know. Why don't they vest the staking rewards as well? Like, yeah, we'll stake it, but you also don't get the rewards until
wait, hold on a second. So you get staking, but then the staking is also vested?
Yeah.
But see, look, that's one of the things that I'm sure that if you were a chain and I was a VC and you asked me that, I would be like, the deal's off the table. Like, no, like, I don't think I think there's certain things that they're just not willing to bend the knee on, because what they'll say like, well, we didn't do a deal like that with ABC chain.
Well, that's the problem though, right? Is because it's just like, who's gonna be the biggest prostitute? Like, who's gonna do it for the cheapest? I do give
credit to if you want to pull something up, are you guys familiar with Hasib? You should go read. He wrote a really good thread about this. Hasib is like the managing partner of Dragonfly, which is like a pretty significantly large fund. And he kind of wrote about this, like that the next cycle of VC raises, like there needs to not be this vesting while like staking while vesting. And also that they need to move away from like the vesting cliffs. Like, vesting cliffs are dumb. And I agree.
Yeah. Let's see here. Well, let's see. Okay. Yeah. So, looks like we're about to hop off here. We're at 1 hour and 20, but appreciate everybody watching. Always appreciate the assistant hopping up with the alpha.
Yo, big time. Oh, Ave coming soon.
Oh boy. Yeah, we were just talking about that before you hopped on. So that's good news.
Join tomorrow to my thing, and then I'll drop the real alpha. I just give the little sprinkle of tea.
Yeah, check out the assistant uncensored tomorrow, and you'll get the real alpha. And want to thank Blue Derpy and Eggs as well. Thanks for hopping on, man. You'll have to hop on again with us, even if you just want to hang out.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you having me on here, and also shout out to Ave. That was the first company that hired me in crypto, so I worked for them for a little bit back in the day.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome. Well, yeah, get the real alpha from them. Be like, bro, give me the day, give me the hour. Well, yeah, thanks guys for hopping on, and thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you Friday. And yeah, as assistant said, soon to be streaming from the Sonic Labs X account. So gonna be a good time. So we will see you guys Friday.
Bye guys. Thanks.
Peace, fellas.
GMSONIC is Corval and Dracula Presley. GM.